welcome back to the Unboxers, and today we have for you another What We Watch. It is a new series, and we just finished watching episode 3, so see if you can guess. If you didn't read the title, I'm not going. And, okay, this could be construed many different ways.
Yes.
But anyways, we're here to talk about
Blanket
and Flashlight. Yes! It's a new series. So we're here to talk about Cloak and Dagger, and it's on the Freeform.
It used to be ABC Family
Channel. All right. So we watched episodes 1 and 2 last Thursday, and we've just watched episode 3. So we wanted to talk about 1 and 2, but it snuck up on us, and 3 is here. So we're going to talk about the triple threat of the first 3. So anyway, so I'm guessing if you clicked on this that maybe you either want to know something about it or you watched it too and you maybe have some questions or want to enlighten us, which would be even better.
Yes, that would probably be more likely.
Yes. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to get the notifications so you can see more awesome Unboxer fun. So, I have no background with Cloak and Dagger. Did you read any of the comics?
I have some. It wasn't so much like their solo stuff, but I saw them sometimes when they would when they would team up with Spider-Man
or something like that.
Yes.
What about and so the Matthew Broderick Cloak and Dagger is nothing like
this?
No,
that's just that's all. That's like spy stuff.
Yeah, and that's the only one I was familiar with, and I wasn't even really super familiar with that story. So anyways, it's kind of cool because it kind of starts out and they don't know. I mean, it shows you how they got their
how they got their powers from.
Yeah, how they got their powers.
Roxxon Corporation.
Yeah, from the incident. So two different. I think it's really cool because it's 2 totally different incidents that would put them in the same place at the same time.
Right.
Which really have nothing to do with each other. And go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's kind of interesting because
it's not like they both were in a car and ran off the bridge.
Right? Yeah, they just both happened to be
at the dock.
In the right place at the wrong time, kind of thing.
Yeah, wrong place at the right. I don't know. Anyway, so and obviously the male character, his name is
Tyrone.
Tyrone is the Cloak, and he first started out being covered up by stuff.
When he would accidentally use his powers, he would try to hide or cover up or whatever.
Well, he was in his room and he came out of that thing, it looked like a garbage bag, but it wasn't really a garbage bag. The black plastic wrapping. But now it's like his body does it even more to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think somehow.
Because he went under his sheet and he did the same thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know if the cloak, because actually being in darkness, because he's just kind of trying to learn how to use his powers. I don't know if that really helps it along at this point. But yeah, he has.
It's kind of cool because the black stuff. If you've ever seen that special effect before, it's usually when someone's poisoning someone or pretty much poisoning someone, and so this is a different way to kind of use that special effect to mean something different, which is cool.
Yeah, it's interesting that they, because even his power is like dark force or whatever, and normally you would think of that as something bad or evil or whatever.
Right. And he's actually, if you're looking the more moral high ground character, the fact that he's, he's attending school and doing all this, and she's actually stealing from.
Right. Yeah, that was one of the things that I thought was really interesting. That once they kind of skip ahead to them as teenagers, that he's going to school and trying to do, he's the good kid, and he's the one that has the dark power, and she's, living on the streets and stealing people and all this stuff, and she has the light power.
Did you say stealing people?
Stealing from people.
Stealing from people. She's not stealing people. That's a whole different crime.
But yeah, that they have that it's opposites. It's kind of cool how they did that.
So you can kind of see. I kind of like the back and forth, this scene and this scene and this is going on when this is going on. It definitely keeps you on your toes, and there's definitely no chance to get bored with what's going on.
Right.
Her relationship with her mother after losing her father is really intense and not estranged and not very good at all.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that they're both been deeply affected by it, and they are handling it in completely different ways.
And of course you see, okay, so look at let's do a compare contrast kind of thing. His mother, how she handled his brother's death, and then how her mother handled the father's death.
Right.
It's kind of like when you can go two ways.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool for them to show the difference of that. Okay, and so let's see. What do we? So we don't really have per se a villain at this point. Well, we have some antagonists. The police officer. And I'll tell about we can talk about your prediction later. But and the guy who assaulted her. Right. So you have some little minor.
I think they're just kind of something to spark to kind of get things rolling. Right. But I have a feeling that there's going to be.
But I think there's no
big bad.
Big major villain antagonist at this point. So let's talk about the grab factor, because we usually talk about that first. Okay, so grab factor is when you first start watching the show, how many minutes does it take you before you're into it, before you're hooked, and hey, I gotta see the next episode. Yeah. And I think it's cool that they played 1 and 2 back to back, and go ahead and give you those 2 hours, interrupted with commercials, but 2 hours of show to get you interested. So what do you rate it on the grab factor scale?
I don't know. I would say 8.
Oh, that's pretty high. Yeah.
It's kind of one of those where you find yourself like looking at the TV like,
what does that mean?
I don't understand what's going on. And then you're like, oh, okay. And you find yourself kind of like sucked in to
figure it out, like the puzzle kind of thing. Which brings me back to Matthew Broderick. So okay, no. Anyway, so grab factor for me, probably not exactly that high. Maybe like a 7.5. Maybe between a 7 and a 7.5. It was good, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, like don't walk into the other room.
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's definitely not one that's like got you in the edge of your seat. At least at this point, it's kind of introducing you to the characters, and it's kind of a slow acceleration. But I think the way they're doing it with kind of like teasing you with little bits kind of keeps you like, okay, well, what's going on? I don't understand where that ties in, but I'll hold on to that for right now and see where that goes. Okay, so let's talk about shock factor. We're only 3 episodes into it, but anything shocking happened that you thought, that kind of took you off guard? Of course, we're still just getting introduced, but there could be a scene or an incident. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like, you could almost, it's kind of weird because to me it kind of falls in the shock factor, but also kind of saw it coming. But like when young Tyrone and his brother are running from the police, and the oil rig or whatever thing blows up, and it kind of scares the policeman and he shoots him. It was kind of like, oh my gosh, it kind of shocked me that he actually shot him. But at the same time, you could kind of see where it was going. But
mine was episode 2. He's standing there getting ready to shoot the police officer, and then he teleports cloaks and ends up in front of her vehicle. So that was kind of shocking. In that, and not like oh my gosh, total shock, but when in episode 3 when the younger what's her name?
Tandy.
Younger Tandy was feeding the communion wafer, and then all of a sudden the guys started passing out.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, whoa, what's going on here? So I don't think we have any saw it coming. We're kind of still new as to what's coming. We'll save your prediction for the last. But let's talk about episode 3 real quick, since it's just fresh in our heads. there was a lot of stuff I'm like, okay, something needs to start making sense. Because, and it did eventually, and everything was clicking in, but it was like, what? What's going on? You know, it was like he threw out all these things, and you have this puzzle, and there's no colors that match, and no theme that seems to be going on. So, so the whole thing with her, with him, was the gun and the noose and the, you know, so he was trying ways to take out the police officer because of what happened to his brother. And she was telling him to find a different way. So hopefully he'll go by way of the law and try and let the policeman incriminate himself and do it through the law. Her thing was the running away, right?
Yeah, running away from the thing with the incident with her father.
And the incident with the guy.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and she's pretty much running from everything at this point. So she has to stop running, and so that her first reaction is to go back and call the officer. Now, did the officer turn her down based on they had already closed the case? Is that why she was
I think what the deal was is by the time Tandy was ready to say, okay, I'm ready to make a statement or whatever, and I guess she was going to try to put that guy in jail. The bad cop had kind of had like, hey, look, I found the guy that actually assaulted her. And I'm assuming that they know each other. They haven't really explained that, but my guess is that they know each other, and that he basically lied and said, oh, hey, I took this off a junkie, like basically saying that
he was robbed.
Yeah, basically, yeah, he was the one that was assaulted, not that he was the assaulter.
Right. Now, the guy said my uncle is a police officer.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm pretty sure. Okay, it could or could not be, because like he has like dark black curly hair, he has like red hair. So I mean, it could, not that it couldn't be, but I'm thinking. So let me know in the comments if you know. But I thought I heard him say, hey, yeah, trying to make friends with the investigator. My uncle is a police officer. So could be. So is he his uncle? We'll find out. Okay, so go ahead and make your prediction for the next one, because you have a prediction about a certain character.
Yeah, I did see that because there is no kind of like big bad. Throughout the episode, you keep seeing this thing being 3D printed, and then
it was really
by the end of the episode, the lady that Evita takes, the girl in school that likes Tyrone, she takes him to see, I think it's her aunt, who is like this voodoo priestess, and it's her thing, like she's been 3D printing like a doll of him, and she kind of puts it up. Which is the first 3D
printed, because everybody else is like a corn husk or a creepy little.
Right, yeah, they're like old, really old, like voodoo dolls.
Yeah.
So it's like she's made this voodoo doll of Tyrone and kind of sits it up on the mantle. So my guess is that at some point she's going to become the big bad.
You think she's going to be the big bad?
Or somehow related to...
Yeah, I wasn't really big on them entering into, let's go into the voodoo realm. So I'm hoping it, I don't know, maybe it will become the evil that's, like you said, but, but it's also like a conflict between the Catholicism and the voodoo, even though she says it's separate. And so right now they're not really pushing that. It was just kind of a side note. So so we will see what happens with that. So looking forward to next Thursday's episode.
And voodoo is kind of like an odd one anyway, because it's kind of one of those, kind of like magic, there can be black magic and light magic, so like they have like different, you can have like dark voodoo and good voodoo, so it's kind of so they may play like, oh, this lady she's pretending to be a good voodoo priestess, but really she may be tangled up with somebody.
I try to stay out of all the voodoo, but anyway, but it's okay. Him taking the bath in the spices.
In the yuck, yeah.
Yeah, he was
marinating.
Yeah, definitely. That he got from Whole Foods. So yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so that's fun to talk about. That's a good new show. Like it's always fun to start new shows and see how they go from there. So we shall see if your prediction comes true. Yeah, it will be very interesting. And I want to see if the boyfriend shows up back in jail
later,
or he wasn't in this episode at all. Her boyfriend. So thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and as always, we want to know, what do you watch?